Have you ever been sitting at your desk or walking down the street when suddenly, and for no apparent reason, your heart starts pounding wildly, your chest feels tight, your hands go numb, and a voice inside you screams in panic, "Something's wrong. Oh my God, am I having a heart attack right now?" If you've been through this, take a deep breath. You're not going crazy, and you're definitely not alone. In today's world, dominated by a culture of constant productivity, financial stress, and the endless noise of social media, anxiety has become the #1 mental health issue in America. Statistics show that over 30% of young people experience anxiety disorders at some point in their lives. That means 1 in 3 people around you is fighting this invisible battle. And it's not a weakness, it's your nervous system's normal response to chronic overload. In this video, we'll break it down without getting bogged down in medical jargon. Where does ordinary deadline stress end and a disorder begin? What actually happens to the body during a panic attack, and why can't it physically kill you? Most importantly, I'll give you specific, science-backed tools that will help you literally hack your nervous system and regain control of your life. To overcome anxiety, you need to understand why we need it in the first place. In reality, anxiety isn't the enemy. It's your inner guardian. Thousands of years ago, it was anxiety that helped our ancestors survive. When a predator appeared on the horizon, the brain instantly switched to fight or flight mode. At that moment, a tiny part of the brain, the amygdala, hits the panic button. Adrenaline is released, the heart beats faster to pump blood to the muscles, and breathing becomes shallow to saturate the body with oxygen. All so that you can either attack or run away quickly. The problem is that evolutionarily speaking, our brains haven't changed, but the world around us has changed dramatically. Today, you aren't being hunted by saber-toothed tigers, but your amygdala reacts to a toxic email from your boss, an overdue rent bill, or a bad grade in college just as it would to mortal danger. Normal anxiety is helpful. It gives you a boost, helps you meet a project deadline, or keeps you alert while driving on the highway. However, if this feeling becomes constant, lasts for more than 6 months, and prevents you from simply living your life, it could be generalized anxiety disorder, or GAD. With GAD, your internal alarm system has simply gotten stuck. You wake up with a sense that a catastrophe is about to happen, even if the day promises to be perfect. The brain is constantly running through worst-case scenarios, wearing the body down to the bone. If generalized anxiety disorder is a constant, exhausting background noise, then a panic attack is a full-blown explosion. It is a sudden, acute surge of intense fear that usually reaches its peak in just 10 minutes. At that moment, the body exhibits a full range of symptoms. The heart pounds in the throat, shortness of breath sets in, the hands begin to shake, and disorientation takes over the mind. The main problem with panic attacks is that their symptoms perfectly mimic those of life-threatening conditions. That's why thousands of Americans call 911 or head to the emergency room every day, convinced they're having a heart attack or a stroke. But here's the key medical fact to remember. A panic attack physically cannot cause cardiac arrest, a stroke, or insanity. Why? Because it's not a heart condition. It's simply a sudden, massive surge of adrenaline, a pure hormonal cocktail. And this cocktail has a clear shelf life. The half-life of adrenaline in the blood is about 2 minutes. This means that if you stop feeding your fear, the first powerful wave of panic will begin to subside on its own in just a couple of minutes, and the entire attack will completely dissipate in your body in 15 minutes at most. That's why a panic attack lasts longer in only one scenario: if you trigger what's known as a vicious cycle of panic yourself. How does it work? You're walking through the supermarket and your heart rate has picked up a bit, maybe because of your 3rd cup of coffee today. Your anxious brain instantly picks up on this sensation and triggers a catastrophic thought. Oh no, I feel sick. I'm going to pass out right here in front of everyone. This thought triggers a new, even stronger surge of fear. Fear causes the amygdala to release another surge of adrenaline. Your heart starts beating even faster. You look at what's happening and think, "That's it, I'm dying." The cycle is complete. You're trapped in a web of your own thoughts. Anxiety can take many forms and often hides behind other symptoms. One of its most common manifestations is social anxiety. This isn't just ordinary shyness. It's a paralyzing fear of being scrutinized by others, of being judged, ridiculed, or appearing foolish. Because of this, young people start avoiding public speaking in college, cancel important job interviews, shy away from networking, and can't even calmly order food at a cafe. They feel alone, even though there are actually thousands of people around them who are just as paralyzed by fear. If a person experiences several severe panic attacks in a row in public places, they may develop panic disorder. The brain begins to fear not a specific trigger, but the very prospect of another panic attack. This is called fear of fear. The next stage of this disorder is agoraphobia. A person begins to eliminate from their life places where, in their opinion, a panic attack might catch them off guard, and from which it would be difficult to escape or get help. At first, subways and crowded buses are off limits. Then come movie theaters, concerts, and large shopping malls. Over time, this safety zone shrinks so much that the person finds themselves locked within the four walls of their own apartment, completely isolated from the world. Once a panic attack has started, most people make a major mistake. They start frantically trying to fight it or run away. This only prolongs the storm. Remember the first rule: don't fight it. Switch to radical acceptance mode. Tell yourself, yes, this is a panic attack. I feel terrible, but I'm safe, and it will pass in a few minutes. Let this wave wash over you without resisting it. The next step is to bring your mind back from this imaginary disaster to reality. The classic American 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 grounding protocol is perfect for this. Right now, wherever you are, use your eyes to find 5 specific objects around you. Describe them in your mind: a green glass, a gray wall, a black cable. Now touch 4 different textures: a cold table, the soft fabric of a hoodie, rough jeans. Hear 3 random sounds: the hum of an air conditioner, the noise of cars outside the window, someone's voice. Notice 2 smells, maybe coffee or perfume. And notice 1 taste, for example, the freshness of mint gum. This exercise literally forces your prefrontal cortex to kick in and turn off the amygdala's alarm system. Now let's engage the body. When we panic, we breathe rapidly and shallowly, which causes hyperventilation and intensifies anxiety. We need to trick the nervous system using box breathing. This is a technique used by US Navy SEALs to stay calm in extreme situations. Let's do this together right now. Look at the screen and repeat after the timer. Take a deep breath in through your nose. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold your breath. 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale slowly through your mouth. 1, 2, 3, 4, and hold again. 1, 2, 3, 4. Repeat this 4 times. You'll notice your heart rate starting to slow down. But be careful. Breathing techniques are meant to help you relax, not become a crutch you rely on to the point where you're afraid to leave the house. If the attack is too severe, use the emergency button, temperature shock. Dip your face in a sink of ice water for 10 seconds or place a slice of lemon on your tongue. This triggers what is known as the kidney reflex. Your heart rate will automatically slow down at a physiological level, and your brain will instantly shift its focus from thoughts to intense physical sensations. Your mind does not exist separately from your body. Your body is the foundation of your mental health. A vast number of large-scale clinical studies prove that regular cardio workouts, even just 30 minutes of brisk walking or running a day, are just as effective at combating anxiety as mild antidepressants. Exercise literally burns off excess adrenaline and cortisol in your blood. The gold standard worldwide today is cognitive behavioral therapy, or CBT. It is a highly practical method with proven effectiveness. CBT won't make you spend years digging into your distant childhood. Instead, it works in the here and now. The therapist will help you identify those automatic, destructive thoughts that trigger panic, test them for realism, and replace them with functional ones. You will learn to see the world not through the lens of fear, but as it truly is. The same goes for nicotine from vapes and alcohol. Alcohol does help you relax in the evening, but in the morning, when detoxification begins, it triggers a severe chemical rebound in the nervous system, doubling your baseline anxiety levels. If you want a stable mental state, start with basic self-care. About 8 hours of quality sleep, minimal caffeine, and regular exercise. If, despite all your efforts and changes in habits, anxiety continues to undermine your quality of life, preventing you from advancing your career, going on dates, or simply sleeping peacefully, this is a clear sign that it's time to see a specialist. Remember, seeing a psychotherapist or psychiatrist isn't a sign of weakness. It's just as much a sign of maturity and self-care as visiting the dentist when you have a toothache. Fortunately, the days when mental health issues were considered shameful are long gone. The gold standard worldwide today is cognitive behavioral therapy, or CBT. It is a highly practical method with proven effectiveness. CBT won't make you spend years digging into your distant childhood. Instead, it works in the here and now. The therapist will help you identify those automatic, destructive thoughts that trigger panic, test them for realism, and replace them with functional ones. You will learn to see the world not through the lens of fear, but as it truly is. And most importantly, don't be afraid of medication if your doctor thinks it's necessary. Modern antidepressants are safe. They don't change your personality or cause addiction, as is often portrayed in old movies. They simply help your exhausted brain restore the proper balance of neurotransmitters, serotonin and norepinephrine. It's like a cast for a broken leg. The medication provides support while your mind recovers. The full effect usually sets in after 2 to 6 weeks, restoring your ability to think clearly. Panic attacks and chronic anxiety are incredibly difficult experiences. But remember, it's just a glitch in your brain's safety system, an alarm that went off at the wrong time and in the wrong place. You are stronger than your fear. In fact, people who deal with anxiety every day are often incredibly resilient and courageous because they have to go about their daily lives while weathering an internal storm. If you want to take the first step right now and objectively assess your condition, I'll include links in the description below this video to 2 simple, internationally recognized tests: the GAD-7 for assessing anxiety levels, and the PHQ-9 for assessing depression levels. They'll only take you 5 minutes, but they'll help you figure out whether you can handle things on your own or if you should consult a doctor. Don't try to be a hero when you need help. Take care of yourself. Subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any new analyses, and share in the comments which grounding technique works best for you. See you in the next videos.